Hello everyone, today's topic is about the 8 activities to create a mindful classroom by educator Maurice J. Elias and Edutopia. So let's talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness is a state of mind when you're being conscious or aware of something. Students nowadays face the modern challenge of attention deficit. So with each of the new digital distraction, it becomes increasingly difficult to focus on the right things. And so students experience pressure on exam, they express stress, they have performance competition, they have anxiety about their potential future opportunities, and others. So with these issues in mind, there are many benefits of mindfulness for students who decide to take up the practice. So, with mindfulness, this is the practice of bringing your full awareness of the present rather than thinking about your past or your future. It helps you calm down and have a better understanding of your thoughts and emotions. And mindful activities for the classroom are the perfect way to achieve it. So, these practices take some weight off your awareness and helps you focus on what is more important. And as a student, there are numerous advantages whenever we practice mindfulness regularly. So here are some of the benefits. Number 1, it reduces overthinking. Second, enhanced focus. Third, working memory boost. Fourth, reinforced intrapersonal intelligence. Fifth, improved social skills. Sixth, cognitive flexibility. Seventh, reduce stress levels and anxiety. And lastly, raises awareness of emotions. Throughout its history, mindfulness has shown itself as a proven method for managing stress and anxiety. Also, it helps us to pay attention on where we allocate our resources. So it is important that we not only think about mindfulness, but we also teach it to our students, especially if you are an educator. So the many benefits of mindfulness for students can help you work through your daily personal and academic issues. Our consistent practices serves as a reminder that we should focus on the present rather than the errors that we've done in the past or the doubts that we have of the future. By living mindfully, students can work to reduce stress and anxiety while making the most of each moment. So everyone in the classroom benefits when there are opportunities throughout the day to reflect and prepare for learning. And the value of mindfulness-related activities in schools is not actually new. In fact, there's been a lot of research or concepts that helps us build early connection to meditation, raise red flags for some, and kept it recommended practices from catching on. So, from this one, we get to see, does mindfulness only affect physical class and online class? Or vice versa? So, these mindfulness activities can work both in physical and online class. So, these practices in action in schools, and to speak of a number of master teachers of mindfulness, based on research, the author Maurice Elias was able to think of or have identified 8 activities that are relatively easy to implement in classrooms and schools, whether it is physical class or an online class. Of course, with a little practice, these can be part of any educator's pedagogical toolbox. So let us take a look some of these mindful practices. So these mindful practices are divided into 3. Number 1, the caring openings. Number 2, in the moment. And number 3, ending the day. So let's start with caring openings. First one is Silent 60. So with this, you start the class by having all students sit quietly for 60 seconds to get themselves ready for learning. So you start with 15 seconds for elementary students, and you can gradually increase. And you can begin with 20 to 30 seconds for upper elementary. So for this one, you can add a focus on a particular sound in the room, an image that you can provide that they can focus on. So no one will talk, just silently for 60 seconds, maximum of 60 seconds, the students can reflect or can just focus on certain things around them in their environment. Second, powerful listening. This one, you can ring a bell, you can use a wind chime, or employ another object that makes a long trailing sound. You'll ask the students to listen and raise their hands when they no longer can hear the sound. After all agree that the sound has stopped, set a timer for 1 minute and ask students to sit quietly. And then when time is up, ask them what they heard during that minute. So this allows them to focus on listening, especially nowadays that students have a hard time listening. So this can be a good practice. Next is 1 minute for good. This, you start the class by having students reflect for a minute about something that has gone well or something that they are grateful for. You can do it by pair or by small group or large group discussions. So of course, larger groups work best for early elementary as they tend to be more open and they can enjoy more sharing time with the others. Last one, for caring openings, morning classroom conversations. So here, you start the day with a quote that can stimulate short conversation. So this would be helpful for middle schoolers or high school students. You can interact with them in different ways. So here, you can also have some conversation prompts, like, for example, you may ask them or you may show them quotations, Bible verse. You can ask them to think of words or a phrase, or maybe you can ask them for certain questions. So, like for example, you can ask them about their day. If it's the first day of the week, you can ask them of their week. And you can also ask them about their emotions. And you can expound on that conversation. Now let's have in the moment. These are some of the mindful activities that you can use in between your classes. First is 3 breaths. So have students take 3 deep breaths at regular intervals. So you can instruct the students on breathing technique and create visual reminders and prompting signals for students to begin. So this one is a valuable practice for not just for students, but even if you are working. So the expert mindfulness teacher Daniel Nuffer, who has compiled an array of marvelous techniques in the book The Path of the Mindful Teacher, you can look at it. I'll put the link in the description below. Next is body scan. So educators from all over the world can benefit from learning to focus on their bodies. Make sure that you're feeling centered with both feet on the floor as you teach your classes or meet with your students, or even if you are meeting just your colleagues. Don't hesitate to let your students or colleagues know that you are taking a few moments to gather yourself via breathing. So you just have to be aware of yourself, of the tensions that you have. For example, the tensions that you feel on your shoulder or on your head or on your hands. Next is speak your mantra. You can develop a phrase that helps you focus and keep your perspective, and you repeat it often. I love this one because I do this every morning, and you can look at the mirror and recite your mantra. These are some of the examples of mantra that you can choose from. I'm preparing all of these children for an uncertain future. I want all students to enjoy well-being, happiness, and peace. My goal is to prepare students for the test of life, not just a life of tests. And you can make your own. And last one is ending the day. So you only have one activity here, which is the concluding reflection. So many have extolled the value of reflection. It doesn't only work in school, but in your daily lives. So the expert Nuffer have explained that it is important that we learn to reflect. So these are some of the reflective questions that you can ask before you end your class or before you end your day. Something that I learned today, I'm curious about, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because, and many more. So most teachers start off as teachers who use mindfulness, moving to become a mindful teacher. And we act with awareness about what is happening in the moment. But at the same time, it is important to be part of a community of like-minded educators who help each other improve. And so these are very important materials, and I hope that you'll be able to make use of these activities. You may be a teacher or a worker or an office worker. These activities are not just only helpful for our students, but I would say that as a person, it is also important that we become mindful of everything that we do. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining me in this video. I hope that you find this video helpful for you, and I hope that you'll be able to use these activities on your daily lives. You may comment in the comment box below for questions or for some of the sharings that you may want to share to the other viewers. Thank you again. Goodbye.